everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel, Lessons with Guitar Man. My name's Aaron, and I'll be your designated driver here today for this absolutely fantastic tune, Metsäkukkia. Now, I'm not exactly sure if that's the way you say it, but that's my best stab at it anyways. When I originally heard this song, my brother turned me onto it and kind of showed me the way he did it. After I got this thing under my thumb, I went onto YouTube and kind of watched a bunch of versions of it, and there are so many different ways of people playing it. What I decided to do for you here, to give you something kind of different to work on, is play this in the key of G minor proper without playing it with a capo. And I added in a lot of double stops instead of just playing single note lines, especially in the A section. And just wanted to give you a little bit of a challenge and something that you won't hear a lot of guitar players playing out there. So let's go ahead and dive right in there and see what makes this thing work. All right, in measure number 1, what you're going to see here is a 3, 3, 5. And those are all quarter notes. So 3, 3, 5. And moving on to the second measure, what you're going to see here is a double stop here over a G minor, and that's going to be an 8 and a 6. And then we're going to bounce on this 10 right here with our pinky finger, and it's going to go like so. So it's a 6-8, double stop, 10, 6-8. Okay? And that whole measure together is going to sound like so. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And moving on to the third measure, what we're going to do here now is move to measure number 11 and measure number 10 here like this, which is another part of a G minor chord. And we're going to go double stop, pinky, double stop, and then ring finger right here in front of your pointer finger like that. And you're going to have an 11, 11. And that's going to go like so. And that whole measure together is going to sound like so. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And moving on to measure number 4, you're going to have an 11, 10. Like so. All right, nothing to that measure. So let's go ahead now and play from measures 1 through measure number 4 slowly and see how that works. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And moving on to measure number 5, what you're going to see here is the same as measure number 1, and measure number 6 is the same as measure number 2, so there's nothing new to learn there. And measure number 7 is going to be 11, 13, 15, so you got to squeak way up here and grab this note right here. Okay, and then 11, 13 again, and then 13, 13. What I kind of did here was the same motif I did here back on measure number 3 where I did, then I just did it up here. So if you can kind of remember this little form, or this little sound I should say, then you move it up to the C. Measure number 7 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. And measure number 8 is going to be 13, 11, just that double stop right there. Okay. Now moving on to measure number 9, what we're going to have is a series of double stops, and those double stops are going to be like so. You're going to have 10, 8, 11, 10, 11, 13, like that. So it's 1, 2, 3, or open, closed, open. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And measure number 10 is going to be a 13, 11, back to the closed one, back to the open one. So in measure number 9, we go open, closed, open. And then in measure number 10, we do the exact opposite. We do open, going backwards, closed, open, like that. Okay? So measure number 10 is going to sound like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. right, and then moving on to measure number 11, you're going to have an 11-10, and then you're going to squeak all the way back here to 8 and 6, and doing an open one. So it's 11-10, squeak back to 8 and 6, like that. And then measure number 12 is just a 7 and an 8, so you take this finger and go here, like that, okay? All right, so if we play from measure number 9 through measure number 12, it's going to sound like so. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, now just that little bit right there is pretty challenging. You're going to have to spend a little bit of time and memorize the shapes, going like that. So you might even want to just practice that for a couple of days or however long it takes you, and just play that over and over again until you get that sound in your head. Okay, moving on to measure number 13, you're going to have a 7, hammer on to 8, pull off to 7, and that's all one sound. So like a little triplet there. And then we're going to move back to 6. So it's going to be, and then back to 7. So that whole measure number 13 together is going to sound like so. Okay? And measure number 14 is going to be 6, 5. That's all there is on that one. And to tie the A section off here in measure number 15 and 16, we're going to have a 8, 7, 8, 5. And for those of you that know your triads and stuff, here's your little G minor inversion here. You got a G, a D, B flat, back to G. Okay? But let's go ahead and play from the double stoppy part at measure number 9 all the way through measure number 16. So 1, 2, ready, go. All right, now let's go ahead and play through the entire A section slowly and see what that sounds like. So 1, 2, ready, go. All right, and all you do is play through that part 2 times, and then we're ready to move on to the B part. All right, so moving on to the B part, measure number 18 is going to be a 1, triplet, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then measure number 19 is going to be 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. Okay, pretty straight there. And then on measure number 20, we're going to hit a 3 and a 3 and do the same thing we did in measure number 18, but in this case, we're going to do a double stop on 3, triplet. In the 18th measure, it was 1, triplet. In the 20th measure, it's a double stop, 3, 3, 3, triplet. And then moving on to measure number 21, you're going to have a 3, and then put your pinky right here and do that sound and just let off. So it's like that. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to go a 2, 1 and do the same thing we did in measure number 18 and measure 20, but on this double stop where you go triplet. That's all you do on measure number 22. So let's go ahead and play from measure 18 to measure number 22 and see what that sounds like. So 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and moving on to measure number 23, what we're going to have here is a 2, 1, 3, 3, 2, 1. Like that. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then moving on to measure number 24, we're going to have a 3 triplet, okay? And measure number 25 is going to be, so you got 5, 3, 3, 3. And then measure number 26 is the same thing we do in measure number 20, so there's nothing new to learn there. And then measure number 27, we're going to have a 3, 3, 1, 3. So, like so. Measure number 28 is going to be a 2, open, 2, 3, 2, open, 2, 3. And measure 29 is going to be a 2. So measure 28 and measure number 29 are going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. To tie the whole B section off, we're going to do the same lick we did at the end of the A section where we went. Okay. So let's go ahead now and play through the B part slowly and see what that sounds like. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, well, let's go ahead now and move on to the C section. All right, so moving on to measure number 35 here. So what we're going to do is go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, and measure 36 is going to go. So we're kind of doing the same exact thing we did on measure 35. On measure 36, we're just going down a set of strings. Okay, and then measure number 37, you're going to have a 3, 5, 5, 4, which is basically the same thing we did moving down this part of the G minor chord on each one. So in measure 35, it was, and then 36, it was, and then measure number 37, it was, okay, and then measure number 38 is going to be a 5, 3, 5, 3. All right, well, let's go ahead and play from measures 35 through measure number 38 and see what that sounds like slowly. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and moving on to measure number 39, what we're going to have here is a 4, 3, and then measure number 40 is going to be 1, 3, 3. All right, and moving on to measure number 41, it's going to be a 3, 1, 3, 4, 3, 1, 3, 4, and then measure 42 is a 3. All right, so measure number 38 through measure number 42 is going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. And take a deep breath. We got just a couple more measures and we'll be through this tune. So measure number 43 now, we're going to go 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, and then measure number 44 is going to be a 5, and we're going to hold that for the whole measure. So 43 and 44 are, okay, and measure number 45 is going to be a 3, 3, 5, which we've already done in the A section, and then measure 46, we're going to grab this 6 with our pinky, okay. So from measure 43 through measure number 46, it's going to be, okay, and then to tie the whole song off, we're going to do the same lick we did in the beginning where we went. All right, now let's go ahead and play through the C part slowly and see what that sounds like. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, now you might notice that I did this right here. If you just look at the fingering there, you can use either one. Sometimes I use that one, sometimes I use this one. Or same thing. All right, so let's go ahead now and play through this entire tune slowly one time, and that'll be a wrap. So 1, 2, ready, go. All right, some final thoughts on this tune for you. In the A section, I guess the most important thing to pay attention to would be the double stop part when you go that right there. And then when you do the next part, right, those two are kind of exactly the same. I just moved it up one. Pay attention to that. And then the hardest part, I guess, of the A section would be when you do that's kind of a lot. You have to memorize all those little double stops there, but it's not that bad. I mean, if you just take it one piece at a time and hone in on it. Open, closed, open, closed, open, squeak back to 8 and 6, and then put this here. So it's and then that little riff. Okay. And the biggest thing here in the B section is when you do that. Listening to that little triplet. Just pay attention to that and use your ear a little bit. It's like din din din, triplet and a din, triplet and a triplet and a triplet. Finally, moving on to the C section here, what you're going to have in the C section. What we're doing here is kind of moving down this G minor chord shape here, going move down. We're doing the same thing, moving down these three notes, kind of moving chromatically into it. Okay, so then you got, right there, you got to jump up and grab that G note right there. And then to tie it off, we do a little D riff, a G minor riff, and then that last little, or you can use this, whichever one you want to use. All right, well, those are the 3 parts of Metsäkukkia. I know it's a lot. Just make sure you take your time with it, and you're going to have yourself one heck of a showpiece that you can use, or something to take to your next jam session or gig. You do the A part twice, the B part twice, and the C part twice. And once you get this thing together, you're going to have one of the coolest waltzes I think that I've ever heard. The way I've arranged it here will challenge you a little bit, using all these double stops in the A section and the B section, and I think give you a nice tool in your toolbox for whenever you play any tune in the key of G minor. You can use these double stops all over the place and just give you something really fun to work on. And I would highly recommend listening to this on YouTube to various people playing it, especially the accordion. I just think it sounds absolutely fantastic, and I will link several variations of this song in the description below so you can hear it for yourself. All right, well, that's a wrap on this tune. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. If you have any questions for me, feel free to send me an email listed below in the description. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll be seeing you down the road.